Big shout out to Betway, the sports betting app that backs you to trust your hockey instincts. Are you an NHL expert? Do you think you know who's going to win games with the Ottawa Senators, the Toronto Maple Leafs, with the Canadiens and the Jets? Do you think you know your stuff with the Flames, the Canucks, and even the Oilers? If that sounds like you better check out the You Lead, You Win offer from Betway. Betway will pay you out as a winner if a team holds a 2-0 lead in any match involving a Canadian team with a $20 max stake. So head on over to Betway and bet your way. Must be 19 years or older to play. Please play responsibly.
Well, I really like Colorado's deadline. Like, I know that they wanted to get Claude Giroux, but to me, Artturi Lehkonen doesn't bring the star power, but I think he gives you what you need. I mean, they have point producers on that team, right? You know, I was looking at it, like, where would Claude Giroux play on their power play, for example? Like, I'm not sure, as much as they like the intangibles there, and I'm certainly not banging on Claude, I just felt like they had a lot of the things he does well. You know, Lehkonen gives them, I think, a really conscientious player to play probably on their third line, maybe their second line. We'll see how they end up going with, you know, if they go with more balance, maybe through 3 lines rather than loading up 2. And I like the Josh Manson deal. I know he's just a defensive defenseman, physical, but, you know, they got like 8 good defensemen. Like you could dress any of those 8, and I'm thinking, okay, that's a team that means business. And so I think the Avalanche, I mean, they're running away, right? Like I think they got 95 points already. They're obviously having a tremendous season, but I just see them as much as we put our money on Florida at the All-Star game for our SDPN bet. I wish we were holding an Avalanche win the cup ticket, because I think that they're probably my personal favorite. But you know, we'll see. It's funny. I saw Ryan Callahan. I guess I saw a tweet about this. He said on one of the U.S. coverage that he actually thinks Calgary's more talented. So, you know, I'll defer to a former player a little bit. But I do like the Avalanche's deadline. It's not maybe the biggest names, but I think that they really address some holes. Even getting Andrew Cogliano, just reliable veteran that they can kill penalties, play some fourth line for them. You know, I think that they're built for a playoff run. And look, they need one. They're kind of entering Toronto territory where it's getting late early, and you know, they're going to have some difficult contractual decisions. Probably losing Nazem Kadri as a free agent this summer. You know, that it's going to be hard to keep that team together. And so I think that Joe Sakic was smart to go all in. You know, Tampa's deadline was interesting.
I was very surprised by theirs.
Yeah, you can see clearly what Julien Brisebois was trying to do, right? He lost his entire third line from those cup teams, with Gord, Goodrow, and Coleman all moving on last summer, and he's trying to rebuild that in some shape or form. And so you get the Nick Paul addition from Ottawa, the big outlay for Brandon Hagel, and you know, it's hard not to like the Lightning. They got the best goalie in the league, probably, with respect to Shesterkin, who's, I'm not taking anything away from his season at all, and he's deservingly, we can probably give him the Vezina now. But I still, if the chips were down, I still want Andrei Vasilevsky. If you're playing one game to save your life, I want Andrei Vasilevsky in net at this point in time.
Yeah, he's
consistently been the best goaltender in the world the last 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, some people may say Carey Price, a healthy Carey Price, might still be that alternate option to Andrei Vasilevsky, but I completely understand. And in fact, I would agree. I think Andrei Vasilevsky at this point right now, considering what he does in game 7s, that's enough to sway anyone's opinion if you need a goaltender in net to save your life.
He had 4 shutouts in their 4 clinching games in the last cup. Like, that's insane.
Come on. Absolutely.
Like, what a legend, man. It's funny. I'll have Carey Price backing up in that game to save my life, and then I'll have David Ayres as the emergency goalie. That's my trio right there. If the game is being played to save CJ's life.
Oh God, yeah. That means the Leafs are playing against you in this situation, I guess.
I mean, I don't know. We're making up the rules as we go along, but I want David Ayres in the emergency spot, eating popcorn in the stands just in case we need him.
Oh man, wearing MLS equipment. But I was surprised because with Tampa, just to go back on them, just because of the fact that you're right, like they do need to build up their third line, and you need that line to get you through in the postseason. But it's not as if like the Tampa Bay Lightning on their own don't have the horses to go on another deep run, right? And the fact that they were willing to shell out pieces to get a Brandon Hagel, they had to part with Mathieu Joseph to get Nick Paul from Ottawa. Like I expected Julien Brisebois to be relatively quiet at the deadline, and he ends up making two pretty useful moves that, we're looking at Colorado, we're looking at Florida, and we mentioned not to sleep on other teams, but I almost kind of feel like a lot of people are just kind of just letting Tampa just chill, not remembering what they've done over the last two Stanley Cup playoff runs. Like they could easily go back to the Stanley Cup final again.
Yeah. And those are bold moves. Like these might not work out. And that's the nature of the trade deadline. Obviously any trade could blow up in your face, but 2 firsts for Hagel, like if for whatever reason, if he doesn't get comfortable there, if he doesn't find a way to make an impact, if he doesn't find chemistry with line mates, like that's a huge price, banking on him being a very useful player. And keep in mind, this was a guy, I believe he was drafted in the 6th round, unsigned by Buffalo. He's riding a high shooting percentage this year. When you look at the goals scored, he doesn't generate a ton of shots, even though he's been scoring goals. I'm just saying that there is some risk baked into this. He's also young. He's 23. So, I'm not knocking the move. I'm just underlining the fact that it's not a sure thing. And, I like that. I think Tampa's in the position to do that. It's like if you're on a heater at the casino, you might as well keep going. Like why would you stop if you're them? And if they win a 3rd straight Stanley Cup, like when did that last happen? Did the Oilers even win 3 in a row in the 80s? I'm pretty sure they didn't. I think they won.
My brain is fried. I would have to just look that up straight up. But like we're talking
about the last
about
team to win 3 in a row was the Islanders when they won 4 in a row in the late 70s, early 80s. Like in today's day and age, that's ridiculous. It's crazy. Like even just and they got a chance.
Did you just say ridiculous? What the hell, man? That's what y'all say? Damn.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, I mean, I love the spirit coming out of Tampa. I also love the spirit coming out of Florida. Like, I don't know if those moves are going to work. I think it's an absolute overpayment for Ben Sherratt.
Damn. Let's get into it. It's an overpayment for Ben Sherratt. Get into it. Speak your truth.
But here's the thing, though. Payment. It's like if you come and you want to buy my house, payment is based on how many other people want to buy my house. And a lot of people wanted to buy Ben Sherratt. So Montreal was able to extract a big price for a stay-at-home defensive defenseman who doesn't impact shot share in a positive manner. It doesn't mean he's not useful. Obviously, very physical. He's going to make you think twice if you go to the front of the net against him in a playoff series and you're playing every other night. You're going to have the branding on his stick implanted on your back or your, some other piece of your body. He's going to make you feel it. But that was a big price. They go in, they get Giroux, they get Robert Hagg from Buffalo. I like that Bill Zito's looking at his team and going, this team hasn't won a playoff series since 1996. So I wish more NHL GMs were like this in a sense, because first of all, the trade deadline would be even more interesting. But yeah. I think the league would be better for it if teams were just going all in. And so, I like what the Florida Panthers did. I'm not sure in this division, how can you say anything with certainty? I was saying earlier, like we're playing a game to save your life. Julian, we're playing a game to save your life. Which of the top 4 teams in the Atlantic is definitely going to win a playoff series?
Tampa Bay.
Tampa?
Tampa Bay. Tampa.
So you're picking Tampa over Toronto right now, basically.
Oh, easily Tampa Bay over Toronto right now.
Although it could be Tampa Boston, because as we're recording this, Boston has actually tied the Leafs in points. So there's a scenario.
I'm still picking Tampa.
Yeah. All right.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, at this point, they've established themselves as the team. I
regret to inform you that we're now going to have to have you killed in mid-May when Tampa loses in round 1. But
that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. No way. Well, you're not doing that.
I'm merely saying that, and look, I'm not making any predictions. I'm not making any bets here. I'm just saying that
I'm just going to knock on wood right now.
I could see some upsets in that first round. I think it's going to be crazy. And so, yeah, but I like that the Panthers, they're trying to pull themselves up. They've had such a great year. So I like the spirit there. I'm not sure if it was the right set of moves. kind of a weird deadline for Carolina. It looked like they were going to do nothing. They get Max Domi.
I wanted to get to the Metro Division. Let's get into Carolina and Pittsburgh and some of those moves too.
Yeah, like Carolina wanted a defenseman. I think they found the prices too much. A couple teams like that. Calgary wanted another defenseman. The prices were a bit too much for them. They get Max Domi at the buzzer. This is weird. Like all those, I don't remember the trade deadline going to 7 p.m. in the past. Like there was.
You could argue it went a little later than that.
Yeah, but there was a real holdup. It was strange. But anyway, that trade went through. I think it's 6 p.m. Eastern, like 3 hours after the deadline, maybe. It just feels like a strange deadline for them, given how good their team is. Now, the truth is, sometimes the best moves you make are the ones you don't make. Just doing something to do it isn't always a good luck. But I just wonder if the Hurricanes end up falling short this year, if they're just going to have some regret that they didn't get a little more aggressive at the deadline. But it was a wild deadline period. I know the day itself, as I say, wasn't maybe all the fireworks you'd want, but it was a pretty crazy last week leading into that deadline.